Welcome back. It is finals time. LCQ finals. Rachel Agnes has won the winner's bracket. Steven Menendian has come roaring through the loser's bracket. So one of them is going to claim the last spot in the Vintage Super League. Steve has to win twice if it's going to be him. But yeah, there you go. Rachel against Steve. Mentor versus Eldrazi. Who do you like, David?
Well, I mean, I'm going to have to – I like Steve in the individual matchup, but I think the winning twice, I think the edge has to go to Rachel. I mean, he's got to win. I mean, he's won 3 already, but I just think it's really hard to beat someone twice.
I agree with both of those. I think if it was one match, I think it would be Edge Menendian, but it's not. I mean, she's 3-0 so far in this LCQ, so she's earned the right for – she's still got the loss to give. I think that tips things over for Rachel. Should be an interesting match either way. I mean, I think this matchup is sort of one of the more interesting things going on in Vintage. Just watching these decks, it's kind of beat down versus control, right? It's got a lot of just interesting angles of attack sometimes.
Now, I haven't kept up with the Vintage tournament scene, but is the Eldrazi deck, is that what's happened to the workshop decks? Like, do those still exist anymore? Do people still play traditional workshop decks?
More people play workshop decks than Eldrazi decks still. So I think of Vintage as having the Thorn of Amethyst category, and then the combo category, and then the mentor category. That's tier 1 for me. Is you're either playing Thorn, or you're playing Force of Will with Mentor, or you're playing combo. And to be clear, your combo deck probably has Force of Will also. But amongst Thorn of Amethyst decks, this is one direction you can go. The trick with this one is somehow the mana's worse in the monocolor Eldrazi deck than it is in the workshop deck. It's bizarre, but like getting enough sources of colorless mana and getting enough sources of white for your Thalias, and you can see Steve's got Vryn Wingmares and Displacers. Main deck Containment Priest is always fun with the Displacer. The mana's just tricky. Like there's 30 things in this deck that produce mana, so it's a little bit inconsistent in that you really want a mix of mana and spells. But yeah, it's super powerful. Like the good draw from this deck is better than the good draw from the workshop deck, in my opinion. I don't know. I see people do both things, and then you definitely also see people who go workshops but just throw in Thought-Knot Seer because the card is that good. Yeah, I mean it's one of the relevant things going on in Vintage, for sure.
Yeah, I mean I guess it's the decks are a little inbred in the play-in tournament. I have a feeling we'll probably see some traditional workshop decks in full Vintage League proper.
For sure. Yeah, no, I agree. I think that.
I was excited that maybe they were dead. I just can't wait for workshop decks to go away.
Sorry. Look, I do think that Mentor is a little bit better than Workshop right now. I mean, if you're just going into a blind field and you don't know what's up, I do think that, yeah, I mean, just the balance of cards. The trick with the Mentor deck is Paradoxical Outcome actually changes everything. Like, we haven't seen a lot of that tonight, but, like, Reed ran it, okay, to mediocre success. But, I mean, if you watch the way the big tournaments have played out, Paradoxical Outcome actually is advantaged against Mentor. So it's like, okay, the Mentor decks seem to have an edge against Workshop, but Combo actually has an edge against Mentor, and then Workshop has the edge against Combo. So it's a little bit of a rock, paper, scissors there. I mean, it's like any Magic format. The rock, paper, scissors are only 60-40.
Right. It's the beauty of Vintage.
Yeah, welcome to Vintage. I think the reason to like Caleb's version of the Mentor deck, I mean, we just saw it lose to Steve, but Stony Silence in the main deck, Mindbreak Trap in the main deck, I mean, those are very much reactions to the threat of Paradoxical Outcome, right? The Atog Lord, Rich Shea, put this together saying, all right, I can beat Workshop with Mentor, but I need to be able to beat Outcome also. So in came the combo hate cards to try to have a Mentor deck that didn't lose to Combo. Right. I think Vintage is an interesting spot. I don't think we know what the right answer is. I don't think we've seen what happens when you get, let's say 12 really smart people trying to attack the format and, beat their friends and play for bragging rights on Tuesday night. We need that. Then we can know what the answer is. Of course, then maybe Aether Revolt throws things off, and maybe the Workshop deck goes back into it with certain Walking Ballista sneaking in to.
Is Paul Rietzel in the Vintage League proper?
Yes, absolutely.
So we've also got to worry about the white weenie threat.
Hey,
in the playoffs last year with it, right?
Yeah, Paul has been fun to watch for sure. Just watching his brain try to wrap itself around Vintage has definitely been fun. I look forward to seeing what happens next. Well,
I'm rooming with him in San Jose this weekend, so I'm excited to chat Vintage with him.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Well, what's going to happen now is Steve and Rachel are ready. Let's get down to the finals. All right. Rachel has won the die roll. She has drawn up a hand that has no white mana. I don't think she can keep that.
She does have a library and a Mox.
Oh, but I mean, library on the play. Oh, she's keeping it. Library on the play. She says good enough. Steve's got turn 1 Thorn of Amethyst, which is going to stick. And it's going to be a question of whether that library can find Rachel the mana she needs to actually operate this game. I guess Steve has his choice of turn 1 Thorn or Thalia.
I think I like Thalia first.
Interesting. Why?
I just like to start attacking if I'm this deck. I just want to start getting my damage in fast.
Yeah, I'm probably being biased by seeing the 2 copies of Swords to Plowshares that she's holding. Like, she can't answer a Thorn, but whereas she can answer a Thalia. Although you have Caracas, so maybe you time it right and you get to bounce your Thalia.
Right, if she waits and like for upkeep, and then you get to play your Caracas, all of a sudden there's no opportunity to plow it. And
well, Caracas is the white mana, so she can't.
White mana, so she'll see it. I just feel I like to start attacking right away in these decks. But Steve's played defensive and won most of his games, so that could be the right way to do it.
Yeah, looks like he's on your line. Thalia.
Because especially you still have a 3rd mana to play your Thorn the next turn, whereas like if you didn't have a 3rd mana, then I could see playing the Thorn first because you can still play Thalia after it. But he has a 3rd mana, so he can still play it.
Yeah, it's another reason to play Thorn first, though, isn't it?
No, because if you only had 2, I'm saying you should play Thorn first.
I'd still rather have the extra mana on the next turn, even if I don't currently have anything to do with it. But
is there anything he ever would have to do with it for 1 mana in his deck?
Soul Ring?
No, because then he has one of his Thorn effects out, so he can't even play it.
All right, fine. Thalia was the choice. Rachel doesn't get to do anything, goes to her next turn, gets to 7 cards. This library needs to find her a land. It does not.
Unfortunately,
that Mox Jet costs an extra mana, so she just has to discard.
Ooh, he drew a 2nd Caracas. I guess it's good if you get Wastelanded, but I don't think Rachel's looking at Wastelanding anytime soon right now.
Now there's 2 Thorn effects, and she's pinched on lands. Now I do like. There's a lot to like about Rachel's hand there, right? She had Mentor with a Mox. She had Swords to Plowshares. These are all great cards in the matchup, but she basically went all in on finding white mana in the top 2 cards of her library. She gets her first draw step, and she gets the library activation. And if she doesn't have white mana by then, she's basically dead. And then that is, unfortunately for Rachel, the situation we find ourselves in. I might have tapped library main phase there. Oh, she needed to do it upkeep, didn't she? Once she goes to her main phase, she has 8 cards. And she couldn't activate the library.
Yeah, I think the turn after Thalia came into play, I would have just tapped it and played my Mox, taken a turn off of library to get the for sure mana.
I don't know.
Because like if you break, you're discarding anyway. So by playing the Mox, you're
but if you don't break, if you find white mana, then play the Mox off of that. Now you're off to the races. You're actually going to win the game.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think her line was okay on the first turn after Thalia. I think she needed to tap library during her upkeep last turn though.
Yeah, probably didn't have the upkeep stop set.
Meanwhile, I guess she's not actually dead.
I mean, yeah, she's only taking 2 a turn right now.
How many of these cards can Steve actually deploy? Displacer only costs 3. Trinisphere costs 5. Thorn costs 4.
Although Trinisphere doesn't do much with 2 thorns out, it makes the 1-stop spell still cost 3 anyways.
Yeah, you're right. Does not do much. Makes the box cost an extra 1.
That's the only spell it affects.
Oh, there was the Misty. If she had Library Upkeep last turn, she would have found the Misty.
Yep. And if this is a land here, she's going to be she would have it's a sack land.
Yeah, awkward.
Theoretically, she could have 3 mana out this turn, which would allow you to play a Mentor.
Or Plothalia. Yep.
The Flying Thalia. Just keep piling them on.
Bryn Wingbear. Does she need to force a will this? Oh, she can. It costs 3. I'm looking at the Thorn effects. That's another thing that the Trinisphere is doing. It's making force cost 3 instead of 2. Man, she's got plow, 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 but the plows now cost 4 mana.
Yeah, I don't know about the discarding the Mox. I guess she didn't know more sphere effects are coming, but you know, you want to be able to play that on turn in case this happens. Like, I think they have value over something like Gush. Like Gush with 4 speeds out doesn't really do anything for you.
Oh, she drew another land. She's just a land behind this whole time. If she had 4 mana this turn and could line up plow, plow, plow. I mean, if she can survive long enough to start pointing those plows at his creatures, she's still in this. Oh, and she does get to play Mentor. Right, right. None of the Thorn effects make Mentor more expensive, so nor does Trinisphere. So next turn...
But she's got Displacer active, and now she's losing a mana. And she's at 13, and she's going to be getting her Mentor blinked.
Sure. I mean, the first plow's being pointed at the Displacer, obviously. The Strip Mine, I think, is the really bad news here. Yeah. She's not going to get to 4 mana for the plow.
So it goes back to that upkeep. If that upkeep had found a land, she'd be 1 mana ahead, and every turn would be a plow starting last turn.
Yeah, super subtle mistake, but I do think it may have cost her this game.
And she'd be plowing her way right out of this. Ugh, yeah. With a Strip Mine here and an Eldrazi Displacer, she's at 6. It's pretty much, it's over. There's nothing you can cast with 3 mana with that out, other than a Mox.
New Thorn is also bad news, obviously.
That Thorn cost of 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, 5. So if he strips, he can still play it also, yeah.
Why are you tapping Strip Mine, Steve?
What is happening? I mean, I guess it's the same thing. It's the same thing as a strip, right?
Doesn't it cost 5? Yeah, he's a colorless floater. That's hard.
But it's like you stripped, you know, because you took away a mana source.
Why not both? He overpaid. He miscounted.
Yeah. But I'm saying it doesn't matter. Every spell costs 4 more, and she has 3 mana.
Yes. I admit, fatigue is a legit thing from an Indian here. He's in match 4. He's played a lot of Vintage tonight, and obviously every time he plays, he's definitely making intense use of all of his mental facilities. Plow costs 5. She's just dead. Wow, this game was close.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been interesting to see how it played out. I mean, it looks like he's threat light. Had she been able to start plowing, plow, and then every turn cast 3 plows, he's only got 3 threats. So,
yep.
If his next 2 cards, and by then she'd be able to force a will. Yeah, I mean, I really think.
Yep. Yeah, she needed to. Missing the turn 2 land drop was really, really bad, but missing the turn 3 land drop was the catastrophe. And the fact that a turn 3 land would have been good enough, it actually makes her keep seem good, right?
Yeah, I like it.
I mean, missing, because she was going to get 4 looks at a land for turn 4. Yeah, the plows are just so good in this matchup. You have to be able to cast them. Like, you need enough mana to actually cast them through their thorn effects, but Swords of Plowshares is so good in the matchup. I think the more I look at it, I think her keep was correct.
Yeah, I mean, she just happened to run into the 600 thorn effects and not hit lands right away.
Yeah.
I mean, if she has a normal draw of just like dudes, and she finds a land the first 3 turns, she can plow one, plow another. She can get going.
Right.
No, I don't mind her keep at all. It's hard to mulligan an opening hand with library in it that's not mulligan.
Library on the play, it's not. I hear you if you're on the draw. I just, having lived through before the play draw rule exists, like I remember what library was like in the 90s. Play and draw was just, it hasn't been the same ever since. It's all been downhill. Not actually downhill, but I don't know. It just means library on the play is, it's the plows that I think make that hand actually good. The plows.
What does she have for this matchup? She has Supreme Verdict SC and Dramoka. I like both of those. Nature's Claims. I wish she had some 2-mana artifact removal. I can't see. Does she have a disenchant?
I think she has Fragmentize, right?
So
she has 1 copy of Fragmentize.
So she's only one Chalice.
And she has a Nature's Claim. So she has a pair of 1 mana ways to destroy a Thorn.
So Chalice is just stones.
Good points. Chalice on 1 does not get removed.
So she's got a pretty solid hand. Ancestral, some Mentors, a Gush, and an extra Gush.
And Menendian brings in the mental misstep. He keeps making his deck more reactive and getting away with it.
This is incredible. He never draws that misstep when he needs a threat in the middle of the game.
Wow. Yeah, and he's just like, I think Wasteland is correct there. You just want to try to pinch the Mentor deck on mana. It may just work, right? He wastes before she has the 2nd mana for Gush. He draws the 3rd waste/strip effect.
Oh my god.
She's got nothing.
This is brutal. Ooh.
She's got a library.
But he's got a strip.
Yeah. And this isn't, and he's gonna be able to deploy his lands after he finishes this part of the game. Interesting. Now he's gonna debate. I could see the case for Null Rod here.
Wasn't Magic fun back in the day?
Say again?
Wasn't Magic fun back in the Strip Mine Wasteland days? Yeah, I mean, I could see a case for Null Rod, but clearly she doesn't have Moxes in her hands or they would have been played already. So I like to keep her from, like, playing a Null Rod here. What happens if she just goes land Jace? Or, you know what I mean? Like, things like that. I'd just get rid of the land. The fact that this library came out now shows that that was a top-decked land because it would have been out earlier.
That's a good point.
You know she's out of land. Good
point. And you're right. She would have played a Jace if he hadn't stripped. Now there's an Null Rod.
Oof.
3 Gushes. And he's got Cavern. I mean, she doesn't actually have Force of Wills, but she could.
I think you Cavern here on Human and play that Thalia. I think it's more important than a Displacer right now.
Yeah, especially when you have another Cavern that you can play next turn.
And you know she's bottlenecked on mana. I mean, you can tell by the sequence of the way the cards have been played, she's top decking lands. And the effect on Displacer, as of right now, might as well just be nothing. It literally is just a.
Well, I think the other option is Temple into Thought Knot. Right, you can.
Oh, you are.
Like Thought Knots here. I'm not convinced this is better than Thalia, but might be.
No, you are 100% correct. I, for some reason, didn't even notice that he drew a Thought Knot. Or had a Thought Knot.
Now you take Jace.
It's the closest card to being cast. I mean, theoretically, in 2 turns, if she drew a land, she could gush into Mentor, but you've got Thalia coming, so I think it's Jace pretty easily.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, land is what Rachel needs. So next turn she can gush into Mentor, like you said. In theory,
like if you plays Thalia, she can't. I guess she could gush, but then she can't Mentor.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think if there'd only been one Mentor in Rachel's hand, that would have been a reasonable take with the Thought Knot, but I like Steve's decision of Jace there. And now I think it's got to be Thalia. Now the question is, can Rachel draw yet another land? Because she gets to go Mentor.
Well, Swords is what, 2 mana? So she could draw Swords. 2 Swords would be a good draw.
Yeah, if she could go 3 mana and play a Mentor, then start gushing, finding plows, etc. I think she's gonna blind gush into Jace. I guess with no land drop, this makes sense.
I don't know if I don't want to gush there.
I could imagine either line. Smasher. All right. Well, now there's a real block.
Yeah, I just don't think she has enough time right now.
No, I don't think so either. Man, this was all the misstep. The misstep on the Ancestral basically decided this game. I don't know. That's how I see it.
No, I don't know if it decided it, but it put a huge, put it firmly in Steve's favor. I mean, it might have been there. I mean, Ancestral's not guaranteed to give you goods all the time. I've had plenty of bad ones.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the way the cards came out, which is not strictly fair. I'm being a little results oriented, but
I feel like this game is over. So with Steve taking the first match, now it's all even. I think and I think he has become the favorite to win the spot back in the VSL at this exact moment in time.
There has never been a VSL without him. He was the season 1 champion. He has been in every season. He was part of the 5-way relegation that came out of season 4, I guess, but he won his way back in. Was the only person to finish last. Yeah, it was the only person to finish last season. And yeah, he's now looking like 1 match away from winning his way back in. Does that plow help?
She
it's just too late, right?
Displace, right? You can displace in response.
Well, you have to hit the displacer.
Yeah. And then Reality Smasher comes down and kills you. Right? She's just dead to Reality Smasher.
She can jump Thought Knot, take 7. I don't think he can smash and clear Jace as a potential blocker.
Yeah, I just feel like chump Jace takes 7.
Oh, I'm not. I think Rachel's chances have a tens digit in the percentage column. Like I think, but we're not down to actual 0 yet. I don't think.
I think being at 1 with 2 land against that board is actually 0%. I'm trying to think of a combination.
Jace. It's not just 2 land. It's 2 land with a flip to
Jace.
You
have to chump the Jace. You're saying you'd have to chump the Reality Smasher to go to 1.
No, you block Thought Knot, activate, turn it into a Planeswalker, take Smasher plus Thalia.
So tricky.
Steven's trying to figure out whether... if he flickers Jace, he actually wins. He should flicker the Jace here, right? Because then if it comes back, it's tapped.
Well, if it comes back, it's a Planeswalker can give.
Well, if she activates it, he forces her to a decision to activate it and turn it into a Planeswalker. Yeah, this is a good play by Steve. Now she's dead. Steve found the line that removes her blocker. I don't know that she can draw anything relevant here. All of a sudden, she's got a flipped Jace when what she needed was an O2 that could block.
Yeah, because now she can give a guy -3, but even that, she still dies exactly. She gives a Thought Knot 3, then that's 3 damage to 5. Yeah. Excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, Rachel obviously doesn't know about the Smasher. And hypothetically, Steve has to worry about. No, he doesn't have to worry about 4. So well, he's got Cavern of Souls. Another game which is super close. It's like Steve's the beatdown, and if Rachel can just kind of get just a couple of lands and start deploying either a bunch of plows or a mentor, that's how she wins this matchup. But
it's the way to play against this deck and have no mana and just be one turn away every turn and getting. I mean, I just can't. I can't wait for some of this. I can't wait to be up against it.
There you go. Steve Menendian defeats Rachel Agnes, but she hadn't lost yet, and he had. So double elimination tournaments. Got one more match. They're just going to run it back, and now it's just winner take all. We're down to single elimination. They both got a loss. One match for a spot. And you like Steve.
Yeah, I like Steve now. I mean, like I said, winning 2 is difficult, but he already won the first. So just looking at where we are right now, he's got to win 1, and he's 4-0'd this deck already. And it looks good. It looks like a good matchup for him. And I feel for Rachel because she's gotten so close twice now, right? In the first round, she got to the end and lost to Rodrigo.
True.
And now she's here again, and she had 2 shots. So if she does lose this, that's 3 shots to just win 1 match to make it in. It's just so close. I feel I kind of want to root for her because of that narrative, but at the same time, Steve's came with the heat today. So, I don't have anybody I'm rooting for. I'd be happy for either of them, but I'm truly going to feel bad if Rachel does get smashed by this Eldrazi deck again.
No, that's fair. Yeah, she hasn't lost anything else, right? She won in the play-in tournament, lost the win into Rodrigo, but then won to get the bye. Here she went win-win into the finals.
The only matches she's lost. So she hasn't lost this one yet. She still could, have a great draw, an opening first turn mentor and some plows and a force for a chalice. I mean, I can see ways she can win, so it's not over.
Yeah, and I feel like Steve's deck isn't consistent enough to win 5 in a row. I mean, it shouldn't be. Obviously, it's one coin flip, and the fact that it's worked out the last 4 rounds doesn't have any impact on what his draws will be here. But it's a tough deck to rattle off an undefeated streak with. It's just the tails of the distribution curve on White Eldrazi are just a little thicker. The peaks are higher, but the tails are a little rougher. I don't know. We'll see. I'm curious to see what happens. I mean, well, the league wins either way. I mean, having Steve back in would be great. Steve's obviously a great vintage mind, has been around the whole time. Sort of nice to see the champion come back to try to win a second one. But it'd be nice to have some new blood too. It'd be nice to have Rachel in the league. I don't think we can lose.
And there's lots of people that want more VSL, and Steve definitely creates more VSL. So the fans, the true fans, the diehards that are like, I wish it lasted 30 more minutes every night. They're for Steve. They get that. So.
Well, with the new group format, it's only the night Steve's playing. You just don't want to be in the group with him, right? You got to spend another half an hour playing.
Depends on what you're looking for. If you want lots of vintage, make sure you don't miss that night.
I meant as an opponent. I meant you and I. I guess I'm there every night, so I'll have to deal with it.
When I play Steve, I just find something else to do during the downtime and do that and look back up. Oh, it's on me again, and come back to it. So
fair enough. All right, we are just getting them. They're going to run it back as soon as they get set up. Steve's starting to feel a little bit of fatigue, I think. Has to take the lap around the apartment, get a cup of tea, maybe. He is in his 5th match of the night. That is not insignificant.
Has he played all 5 tonight?
Oh, well, this is now our 6th match. He's played 5 of the 6. We had Rachel versus Caleb as the winner's bracket final. Every other match has been an elimination match involving Steve.
That's great. That is great. Just the juggernaut, just plowing through them.
How the bracket works. First, he had to beat Brassman on Sultai. Did that. Then he had to win the rematch against Kevin Cron. Did that. That's actually, he beat Kevin both times they played. So that's 2 wins against Mentor. Beat Caleb. Beat Rachel. Now he's got to beat Rachel one more time. So he's actually undefeated against Mentor, right? Because he beat Kevin twice and beat Caleb and now has beaten Rachel once.
Yep.
Pretty crazy. All right. I want to watch some Magic. Come on, Steve.
Yeah, I wonder what's going on. It's just reset back to game 1 deck, so it shouldn't really be that hard to reset up.
All right. It sounds like we are having a bit of an issue getting the match set up, so we're going to take a quick break. We will be right back with the final deciding game. Last spot of the LCQ up for grabs. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, let's do this. One match for a spot in the Vintage Super League. Let's head down to it. All right, looks like Rachel has won the die roll. Her hand's got 2 plows in it. Only Gitaxian Probe. The man, if Gitaxian Probe into Mentor, and that hand is insane. Steve, meanwhile, has his Chalice, which is ridiculous in the matchup.
Wow, this Chalice. If she doesn't find something to stop this Chalice, her hand goes from great to toast.
Pretty much. She gets to see what she's up against. Doesn't really help. What is she even going to draw against Chalice? Like, there's nothing in her deck that removes a Chalice, is there?
She needs to draw a Force of Will won't do it. She needs
Double bird!
No, she needs to draw. I don't even know. Mentor.
She can hard cast Force of Will. That's her out.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, throw the Moxen down. Makes sense. God, does she hard cast Gush, hoping for Force of Will blue card? I feel like the Chalice is that good.
Oh God! And he could actually just play Wasteland, Chalice for 1 off the Crypt, and Lotus Trinisphere if he wants.
Crazy.
I feel like this game is over before it even started. With that Chalice is just so backbreaking against this Mentor deck.
Yeah, I mean, she can still draw into a Mentor, and then even the 1-mana spells at least throw off Monk tokens.
Yeah, I just think
it's really bad. You're right.
Got to include a 2-mana solution to Chalice in your Mentor decks. It's just you have to have one in your deck.
I'm looking at the list again. Nope. Does not include any way to deal with Chalice other than 1-mana spells. Yeah, no, attack and win the game. That's your out. Who needs 1-mana spells? Yeah, Steve does have some interesting sequencing decisions here, right? He's got the ability to cast the Chalice. He's got the ability to cast the Trinisphere. He can cast both if he wants to. He's also got a Wasteland that he can deploy if he wants to. And in fact, he can do all three. What he's worried about is potential Force of Wills from Rachel. So he has to decide, okay, which one is the bait? Which one do I do first? What do I care about resolving? Looks like he's going to go Chalice first.
Yeah, I think, I like Chalice first.
And I like Hardcast Gush. I think you have to.
Hail Mary. Just got to say,
oh, mentor. Okay. We got
just think if she didn't deploy all her mana and play the Gush, right, and just went land, she could go, land.
Not through a 3-ball. Not through a Trinisphere, she can't.
Well, no, yeah, well, that's assuming he plays the Trinisphere, right? He might not.
Yeah, no. If that mentor had been one card higher and she got it off the Gitaxian Probe, oh my god. But it wasn't. So now Steve has to decide: does he want to play Trinisphere?
Because he might want to Wasteland, right?
Yeah, he might. I would do both. I think this is Mana Crypt, Trinisphere, Wasteland. And I guess you can play a Containment Priest is the other thing he can do. Well, doesn't seem nearly as good as 3-ball.
You can play Grizzly Bear next turn.
Right. Okay. And he does deploy the Wasteland, which means she does not have Monastery Mentor mana yet. Kind of a big deal. Is he worried about losing this game on Mana Crypt flips?
Steve.
Should I put this restricted, incredibly annoying, frustrating for my opponent card into my deck? It's part of my mana denial strategy, but let me think about whether I want to play it on the first turn. Yes, Steve.
Man. Really?
No, he goes Containment Priest.
Really?
Crazy. Flusterstorm doesn't really help from Rachel's side.
Oh, this is game one. I was like, does that have a target? But I forgot they have to go.
Yeah, we're back to game one decks.
After game one.
Thalia's not bad here.
It's funny. This Trinisphere is just never going to get played. Here comes Thalia, maybe? Or is it Trinisphere? It's Thalia, yeah. I mean, I would play Thalia, but...
I think Thalia is better than Trinisphere. I'll give you that one.
No, I agree now. I just feel like Trinisphere should have come out last turn.
I agree.
She's really wanting a land here.
Indeed. No, we're wrong again.
Man, I am confused.
Land? Not a land.
Oh, so painful. The Gush with 1 Mox, 1 land. Good news is, if she does find a land, she still can't Gush with the Trinisphere out.
Lodestone Golem too. Once again, she needs to cast Swords to Plowshares. That's all she needs to do, is cast these Swords to Plowshares.
They won't be cast this entire match and resolve.
They cost 3.
Chalice for 1 says they won't ever resolve. Oh, this is painful. This match, it feels like the old workshop decks. You just don't get to do anything. That's what Chalice does.
Yeah, you're like this far away. Yeah, it's multiple Chalices, Steve Strong.
She's at 7, so even if she finds a land, she has to take 2 to play the Mentor, but the Mentor costs 4 now with the Lodestone Golem out. Because he actually affects creatures.
Yep, Mentor is not an artifact. Wow, there you go.
Steve is 1 game away.
1 game away from returning to the Vintage Super League.
I think if I'm Rachel right now, I'd get up, I'd go in the bathroom, splash some water on my face, I de-tilt a little bit.
Yep.
Because if I'm frustrated, I'm not even playing the match, and after those 3 games, I would be wanting to punch my computer screen. I mean, Chalice is such a frustrating card. Because every game she's lost, she just dies with a handful of Swords to Plowshare, which is like the best card against that deck. Just never being able to cast them. Wow,
Right.
recording was quick. No Chalice.
No Chalice and no Accelerate, no Moxen either. So Steve's draw is turn 2 Thought Knot or Lodestone. Well, it's turn 2 Thought Knot.
And she gets to have a mentor before any of that. She gets to play a turn 1 Jace, or she can leave it. I actually wouldn't play the Jace. I think I would leave it for Force of Will for things like Chalice or Trinisphere. I just think if you have a Mox out, I'd rather just have Force of Will. I mean, when you have a mentor, I'd rather have Force of Will backup to ensure I get to play my game plan. Seems more important than me to Jace.
Yeah, it's an interesting call. I'm not sure what the right decision is. She goes for the Jace. Yeah, she set up for Mentor, but with nothing to follow it up with yet. See what Jace finds. Steve goes into the tank over which land to play, because all he gets to do this turn is play a land. Eldrazi Temple is the answer. Oh, a blue card.
All right, so the Force of Will feels good now. She gets to set up the dig and can possibly keep the looter around.
Yeah, we'll see if she has to use Force of Will this turn. So Steve can play a Thought Knot or a Thalia or a Thorn. Can only play one card, and it can be any of those 3.
I like a Thought Knot here.
It feels like it uses his mana the most efficiently. If she's sitting on a Force of Will, though, Thalia is pretty tempting. Like, getting a Thorn effect down while they've got their Mentor is super powerful. I don't know, the fact that there's double Thalias, I feel like the first thing he casts is the least likely to resolve, right? So the redundant Thalia, it's at least defensible. I don't know. It's a 2-mana spell versus a 4-mana spell, so it's tough.
Yeah, I mean, the only way your thing gets countered is a specifically Force of Will blue card, which with 3 cards in hand, it's not likely. She does happen to have it, but my opponent has just 3 cards on turn 2. You know, I'm not saying they have it for sure.
He goes with Thalia, and he gets to do it through a Cavern of Souls so that it's uncounterable, or Force of Will doesn't matter. Now what? Dig is not online yet, so yeah, activate Jace. Oh, Serenity! Hello. There was a 2-mana answer to... I'm sorry, I missed that one. She had a 2-mana answer to Chalice after all. Blow up all the artifacts.
Chalice and its friends.
Kept looking for targeted removal. I just missed that one. I like a good Serenity. I've had that in many sideboards over the years. All right, so he kind of knows she can't trigger Mentor, because if she could trigger the Mentor, she would have attacked into Thalia.
Unless she's leveling super hard and wants him to attack.
It's quite the next level.
Hey, if she did, I would probably just Nature's Claim my Mox.
Fair.
Thalia,
That's fair. She doesn't have a card she wants to cast. But I mean, she could have attacked Mentor into Thalia. I don't know. I guess she just prefers to play defense. He's definitely looking for what instance she has.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of a bluff where you can just get a free 2 damage in. Because I think if you attack Mentor into Thalia, no sane person says, I call.
Correct.
They're just like, oh, okay, I guess she's just going to play something. I guess I take my 2.
But isn't it kind of a fair question whether she wants to play offense or defense here? And maybe she prefers, does she want to trade 2 for 2? Because if she attacks, Thalia is attacking back. And if she leaves Mentor on defense, Thalia is probably staying home.
Yeah, but I think you can trade 2 for 2 when you have a Mentor out, because you're going to be doing so much damage. You know, every time you cast a spell, exponentially, you know, your damage potential goes up exponentially.
4 mana. Here comes Thought-Knot Seer. Force of Will? Or no?
I think you have to, but it's so tough. I mean, you want to get that token too, but the fact that dig through time is a huge part of kind of the game plan to get you back in it. But I guess with Jace, you're going to find some cards, so you want to just get rid of that guy.
I mean, the thing is, the Thought-Knot Seer is taking one of the 2 blue cards anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, Brainstorm.
Huge draw. Huge draw. Because she can actually, is that put, when she loots with Jace, it can flip and she can either down tick Thalia or even Brainstorm again.
And she found a Gitaxian Probe.
Huge draw.
Yeah, that worked. Immediately flips Jace.
She ticked it down. Or takes the power of Thalia down.
Does not want Thalia to block here. She wants to be able to hold her Gitaxian Probe as the blue card for Force of Will, I think is what she's decided is most important here.
I think Reality Smasher is going to have something to say about that, but...
Well, but the Cavern is set to human. He doesn't have a second Cavern. Force of Will and Reality Smasher, and she's almost got this locked up. He's just not going to have time to deploy the rest of his hand.
Yeah.
Right, this is Force of Will on Reality Smasher, untap, probably Flash Black Brainstorm with Jace. 4 guys, get a prowess trigger, turn them sideways.
Although if by that play, then the Thalia can eat one of the tokens if she flashes back.
Depends what Brainstorm finds.
Yeah, true. So let's see, the options are can't play a Thalia. You've got redundant Reality Smashers. The Thorn doesn't really progress you. So it's out of Reality Smasher and Lodestone Golem, and one has Trample and Haste. We've kind of narrowed it down.
I can't imagine this being anything other than Reality Smasher. I mean, I guess there's a decision about whether you win to Wasteland.
Yeah, I mean, you could Wasteland and play Lodestone. So
well, he can still smash off the Wasteland. It's Ancient Tomb plus Eldrazi Temple plus Cavern. Yeah, I think his debate is just whether he's Wastelanding.
Well, if you play Lodestone and Wasteland, then you've got 2 Thorn effects, and you cut her down to 3 mana, so she can only play 1 drops.
I liked your Trample Haste analysis, though.
Yeah, I just like Trample and Haste. I just like the smash. This is where she should troll him back like he did Kevin Cron. It's hard though when you've been getting smashed and like you're down a game in the next match, but just a sub bro pop up in her handbox. What's happening? Is he?
He's thinking.
We're sure he's there, though. We're sure he's not disconnected. Okay. All right, we've got some movement, some life, signs of life. Oh yeah, here we go.
Yeah, I agree with the line, but I'm pretty sure Rachel just cast Force of Will.
I wonder what all that, you go in the tank that deep and you come out and just get Force of Will in 2 seconds. You just got to feel unfair. Like you put 4 minutes into that and they just got seconds. That's not a good exchange on time.
I don't think Steve's game involves a lot of good exchanges on time. Not really the Magic he plays. All right, Wasteland or no? No. Nature's Claim. What does that do? Nothing.
Nothing. I mean,
okay. Hit the Pearl. Are we close enough to lethal that it's Nature's Claim, my own Pearl time? Well, it's a card for Brainstorm, is what it really is.
Yeah. Oh wow. Thalia makes it not as robust as it could be, but
Is Lotus Probe lethal? He's got 1 blocker. He's at 11. No, she can give 2 more triggers. No, yeah. We're done. She just goes Gitaxian Probe, Black Lotus, or Nature's Claim, and we're done. Wait, she has to keep the Black Lotus to have the mana to pull this off, right?
well, she can Gitaxian Probe into the Black Lotus.
Ah, sure. Good point. Yeah. I mean, she's going to attack with 3/4/4s. I'm pretty sure 4 + 4 + 4 is bigger than 11. On to game 3. We're excited about 1 match for a spot in the VSL. How about 1 game?
This is what she's been wanting her deck to do.
Yes.
Quick Mentor, a bunch of cantrips.
No enemy Chalice of the Void. Oh, now we're just showing off. Nature's Claim for no particular reason.
And she gets to use the right-click attack with all. She's a big fan of that. She said sometimes she sends a Jace Vryn's Prodigy and has to unattack it.
It happens. All right, on to game 3.
I love that Steve blocks always. He always does. I remember one time I was playing Dredge and had like 700 tokens, and I was afraid of like clicking through my attack, and I was like, why is he just not conceding? And he made me click an attack with all the tokens. And then even then went to blocks. And I was like, what is happening?
I think he likes to see the game play out. I think it's actually better for spectators.
No, I respect him for it. It's just scary that if I click through my attack, would he say, you know what, you don't worry about it.
All right, nobody changes their sideboard. They have played enough games of this. They've got a plan. We're off.
Oh, she's got a first turn Mentor with a Mox and wow, look at that hand.
He's on the play though, right? And he's got not much.
Ugh.
He's got 4 Eldrazi and no turn 1 play.
Oh.
Do you keep that if you're Steve?
It's so tough. Like seeing the hands, you got to mulligan it so fast, but you don't see the hands.
I mean, his hand's really bad though. It's turn 2 Null Rod and nothing without drawing lands. I think you have to ship it if you're Steve. I don't think you can keep that. There's not even a white mana for the Displacer. Yeah, like you're literally dead unless you draw a 2-mana land by turn 3.
Yeah, you got to ship this hand. It doesn't do anything.
Right. Your best case scenario is turn 3 Reality Smasher.
Yeah, you've got to ship that. And Rachel has the stones.
Yeah, Rachel just has to sit on her hands and be glad there's not an opponent who can see how giddy she is.
Oh my God, did he keep?
He kept.
He might not do anything this game. Wow. She gets to go first turn Mentor, Land, Mox, Sylvan Library. Oh my Lord.
Is that good?
I love the pace of play, just briskly.
She even had the presence of mind to sack the Lotus for the green mana, too.
Sack that Lotus for green, tap that white, let's go. She's like, let's keep it moving.
4 seconds of clock time. Mentor, 2 tokens and a Sylvan. Your go. No Rod?
This is gross.
Now, she does have no follow-up play yet. I mean, Sylvan Library is very likely to find her something, but also needs to find her something. I mean, whatever. Steve has to play Null Rod here. I guess Wasteland is his other line? Waste the Tundra?
Yeah, I mean, I think he wants a Null Rod in case she's
it's a Sapphire. You know Rod.
She can't chain the Moxes, but like...
Redundant Dax does nothing. Oh, Ancestral Recall. That's good at creating prowess triggers, right?
Yeah.
And then maybe you pay 4 life. Yeah, she pays 4 life to keep an extra card. I like it. Pay 4 life. Get deeper into the library.
Wait, she paid 8 life, homie. She's at 11.
Even
she
better.
Paid 8 life.
Love it.
She kept them both.
She also failed to find a land, but that's why you pay the 8 life. She really, really, really wanted to find a land there.
No, yeah, I respect it. A lot of players I see don't play their Sylvan aggressive enough.
Yeah.
and in spots where they should. So, I respect it.
Yeah, she did find a Force of Will, so she should be fine, even without the land. Dismember's a relevant card, but he can't do anything else, right? I guess he can displace her and dismember.
Ugh, then he goes to 9, and then she Force of Wills or plow.
Well, which one does she Force of Will, right? You displace her. Maybe she Force of Will?
No, she's got plow in her hand, so there's no reason to force the displacer.
Okay, I agree.
You force the dismember, and then you plow the displacer, and that's game.
Well, she's looking to force the displacer.
Oh, interesting.
It does throw a token off, and she does have a Sylvan to refill her hand. I'm with you, though. I think with plow in hand, I don't like this Force of Will.
No, yeah.
We'll see if it matters. I mean, obviously, countering anything is good when you have a mentor out. But yeah, only Force of Will, and there's a plow in hand. I don't know. I think this play's defensible, but I disagree with it.
Yeah, there's like Sperling likes to say, there's no wrong way to eat this resource.
Oh, you know what? The Wasteland is pretty relevant. Like, if he just wastes her Tundra, then plow's not an answer.
Yeah. So, and there's a Stony Silence out. I mean, a Null Rod out. So yeah.
Great. No, I think because of the Wasteland, I think I like that Force of Will.
No, I like her line a lot.
I mean, obviously, hands face up, sure. But she doesn't know there's a Dismember coming. There's only like 1 or 2 in the sideboard.
There's not a Dismember coming.
And he goes for the Wasteland instead of the Dismember. We found a land. She's like, okay, I'm down to 10. I can calm down a little bit. The Lando's a volcanic, so no white spells are available. No prowess triggers, just take 6. Now what? Thalia is actually kind of a decent blocker if she can't come up with
a spell.
White mana. Well, yeah, I guess any spell is now lethal.
This is kind of brutal. And we know the top 2 cards. And would it have been right to pay 4 last turn? Because then you're still out of Reality Smasher in case he goes Temple Smasher. You go to 1, so.
Maybe. All right. Any spell. There's a land for, does the Dig Through Time online?
Yep. I think so, right? How many in that yard? Looks
4,
like
5, 6. Thalia. No, we're 1 away because of Thalia.
Oh, yeah. Holy cow, this is incredible.
She can't cast the spell yet.
Is this really happening? If he draws like an Eldrazi Temple, all of a sudden Smasher's down. This is interesting.
And both the lands she's found are volcanics, which is obviously any white mana here would have been game over. She couldn't find a fetch land. Like, literally every land in her deck is either a shuffle effect or white mana. No, she had to draw the volcanics.
Oh, my lord.
And she's just like, he has to block Mentor here and hope she's bluffing. Right?
So, how many tokens are there? 4 or 5?
Oh, you know what happens? Oh my god! First strike damage kills the Mentor. Now she can Dig Through Time. She can get the prowess triggers because Mentor before. Oh my god! What a great play! That's
sick.
First strike damage sends a card to the graveyard. Now she can delve Dig Through Time. 4 prowess triggers. Welcome to the Vintage Super League, Rachel Agnes. That was spectacular. I did not see that play.
Yeah, I didn't see it either.
Wow. What a great play.
So does that mean Steve should have blocked a token? Is that the question?
There's a 1 card in her deck? I mean...
I think he's dead next turn no matter what anyways. Because he takes 5 if that's the case, and then he goes to 2, and she has 4 attackers for the next turn. So he's actually dead anyways. I can't see a line out of it. But that was still pretty impressive.
Wow, what a great play. Awesome. Good for Rachel. Yeah, she's going to be fun to have around. I think, I've been watching her throughout this play-in tournament. She knows what she's doing. She's been playing great Magic. She's been good in the booth too.
Yeah, I like she just brings something different, Like a lot of the players and our comments, we're kind of, I wouldn't want to say inbred, but we're very similar in a lot of ways. And she just brings kind of a different energy, which I like. I'm excited to see something, some new blood.
You know, all three of the people that we were adding to the league kind of have a different perspective, right? You had Oliver Tew, who's 4.5 years younger than Black Lotus. Like, if you put these events in order, like Randy wins the Pro Tour, Tempest is released, Oliver Tew is born, right? Oliver's at the end of that. Somehow, timeline-wise.
He was born after Chicago?
Yeah, he was born in 1998.
Oh, my God.
Right!
I'm old.
Yes!
I'm really old.
Sorry.
Oh, my God.
I'm older. So Oliver, I think, is a super fun addition to have around. And Rodrigo Tagores, right? We get the European Eternal Specialist.
You know, it's funny. I was talking to Bob, because Bob hasn't really been keeping up. And he's like, so I guess Rodrigo's out. I haven't seen him in the things. I go, no, he smashed and made it right through. He goes, damn, there goes my deck tech. Because
right.
I don't know, Rodrigo's been Bob's like deck man for the past like 3 years.
Yep.
You know, he's who hooks Bob up with tech. So he's like, I guess, I'm like, oh, he might still help you out. And Bob's like, yeah, but I wouldn't feel, you know, that great getting decks from him if he's in the league. So he's like, man, I was kind of rooting for him, kind of not. You know, he's like, I'm happy he's there, but it's like I could use the help.
Awesome. Wow, this was a fun tournament. And the gang is now all assembled. 2 weeks. We're off next week. We always take off the Tuesday before the Pro Tour, since, you know, we're going to have some of our players will be in Dublin. So you guys should watch the Pro Tour next week. But yeah, come back 2 weeks from tonight, February 7th. 4 of our players will be debuting the new group format. All of us are going to be scrambling for decks for the next couple of weeks.
I got 2 weeks to tune my monster.
2 weeks. You said you got something spicy. I want to hold you to it. I want to see the spiciness. That sounds awesome.
I mean, if I owe 3, at least I brought some fun.
Absolutely, and you're still totally live at the group format. You cannot get knocked out with an 0-3. You're still live.
That's true.
Awesome.
It was fun. Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, glad to have you back in the booth. I saw someone in chat said next time you go off for MasterChef, just do it like between Menendian turns or something. That'll be fun. You got plenty of time. Film a reality show.
Go back for Steve though. I mean, we bust his chops for his methodical, slow sometimes play, but he's a great player, a great addition to the league. I'm going to miss having him. I like having him. You know, now he's always been kind of my deck helper. You know, my buddy. We talk decks a lot because we've known each other for many years and been vintage buddies. So even though he's not in the league officially, you know, I'll gladly love to have his input, show him decks, play test with him. So hopefully he still wants to kind of participate in that aspect, and he'll be there in spirit with me.
That's a great point. Very well said. All right, guys. That's going to bring it a wrap for the play-in tournament. We've got our 3 new competitors. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Same time, same channel. We'll see you then.